Hello, I'm Roy Whiffen, and I am checking in to see if you've voted. Have you voted in our election yet? We've got up until November the 1st for early voting, and then on November the 5th is voting day. I put up on Facebook all the voting places so that you can make sure that you can drop in there and cast your vote. It's very comprehensive this time. There's a lot on there. A few of the things that you might consider when you cast your ballot this time. This city and this county, if we go ahead with all of these, are going to be in debt for the next 20 or 30 years to the tune of nearly $2 billion. Now, that's not you, that's your children and your grandchildren that you are going to tie up for the next 30 years. And then also think about this. We've got an infrastructure problem, mobility problem, that is going to come up very shortly. Do you think they're going to need more money for that? So we're going to have another bond. We know that the Fort Bend ISD School Board, Mr. Dupree, have already told us that in less than 2 years they're going to come back to us for another $1 billion. So that will be $3 billion that we're going to be out of pocket. You just can't go on this way. You can't go on ruining your children and your grandchildren's future and letting these people just go willy-nilly. We've seen the waste of money that we've had with our festival park for 21 million, our bridge to nowhere for 21 million, our speed bump for 400,000. It goes on and on and on. That's besides all the maintenance that goes with it. Our costing is going up and up and up. And if you allow these things, our doggy hotel that they can't prove that they need, in the last 4 years, they've murdered nearly 2,000 animals. Now, if you're murdering that many animals, why do you need a huge animal shelter that looks like a hotel and is built like a hotel? There are other buildings that they're asking us for that can be cut back in price. We don't need the best of the best every time. We do need our police, we do need our fire service, we do need our EMS, and we definitely need our teachers. We have a huge problem in Fort Bend ISD. I showed you that a police officer gave a report on what the school police have to do and what they deal with on a daily basis, and it's horrific. It's worse than the adults, and we need to get these things under control. We need to say to Sugarland, no, and we need to say to Fort Bend County, no. We do not need you to be spending 400,000 on a guy to tell us what is wrong with our roads. We do not need to spend 100,000 for a guy to tell us how to build a roundabout. $500,000. It doesn't go anywhere other than to somebody else's pocket. It doesn't lay one brick. And yet we keep doing this time after time, year after year. You know, we've got a budget, the biggest budget that Sugarland's ever had, $270 million. I don't remember voting for that. It's one of these deals that we've just got to say no. We've got to find a way of having the money first before we spend it, before we commit our children and our grandchildren to paying for our mistakes. Why should we be giving our children and our grandchildren that debt? If we're going to have a debt, it should be our debt, not theirs. And yet, at the moment, this is what's happening. So I'm saying to you, at the moment, we've got 4 packages in our bond. And I'm saying to you, at the moment, we need to say no on all 4 and tell them to come back to us with a revised budget that we can work with, that we aren't committing our children and our grandchildren to all this debt. So go and vote, and I'll talk to you later with God's blessing. Bye.